Royal Navy Vice Admiral from Wiltshire has been raising money for Salisbury District Hospital by flying 360 miles in a powered paraglider. And we last spoke to Charles Stile from Shrewton a few weeks ago on lunchtime, just before he set off. And now he's back with tales of his adventures. And what's more, he's with me right now. Hello, Charles. Well, on the phone at least. Hello, how are you doing?
Yes, hello, Graham. Good morning.
Excellent. Now, just remind us about where you were setting off from and where you were heading to.
Right. Well, it was from just north of the border, i.e. in Scotland, a little bit north of Berwick-on-Tweed, and down to Warminster was the task I set myself. It could have been in either direction. In the end, I started it off from the north.
OK. And how did it go, Charles?
Well, it went generally well. The conditions were often pretty challenging. I had to grab every moment with bad weather around, rain, hail, fog. I was quite often ending up landing in fields which I hadn't particularly planned for, but eventually, with some gaps in between, we made it.
Were there any scary moments on the way?
Well, there were several scary ones. Sometimes I was in quite turbulent air, and so being knocked around a bit with, bad weather approaching, let's say, and sort of by definition, if I had to land unexpectedly, that was also quite mind-concentrating. But the only particular moment was when I had a bad landing, and I hurt my back a bit, which caused a pause of about 3 weeks when I went up, and I shouldn't have, in too turbulent conditions. So 3 weeks delay then, in that case. So what happened to you during that time? During the 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Well, I had as I say, a very heavy landing, and it caused quite a lot of back pain. So the first thing was to establish that there was no real problem, and touch wood, it seems there wasn't. And then a little bit of recovery and exercises and so forth. And I'm back fit, and I have completed since then the final leg.
Excellent news. Now, what kind of reactions did you get from people along the way? I mean, did you find yourself landing in fields and suddenly had people running over to see you were okay, that kind of thing?
Oh, well, generally super reactions, and a bit of what you described, yes, a bit of interest. We always either sought permission if I was taking off from somewhere or tried to find the person after we'd landed. By and large, lots of support and quite a bit of interest in it.
And what about your family? I mean, obviously, I think that most of them scratched their heads before you went off, and maybe a few friends as well, thinking about what you were doing. I mean, were they supportive? Did you stay in touch with them quite a lot?
Oh, yes, and indeed. And I had the tremendous support of a local friend, Jim van der Loo, and my wife was often with us as well. I needed ground support all the time, and they were very supportive indeed, thank you, yes.
And, do you think, I mean, you're a well-travelled man, Charles, you've seen a bit of life and had a lot of experiences. What do you think you've learnt about yourself by doing this? Because we learn every time, don't we, when we do things like this?
Yes, we certainly do. It's a very good question. Well, I'd done a lot of preparation, and so up to a point, I think I had scoped the idea well. All the same, I underestimated it. That was the first thing. Fighting through and grabbing short windows in the weather was a challenge, and I don't think I thought that through. I don't think I was realistic about that. Apart from that, as well, when I took off at the time when I should not have done so, that I just mentioned, I let myself be persuaded by the wrong factors. I wanted to achieve the last run. I knew the conditions were not good enough, and I jolly well should have listened to my own instincts.
Well, we all do it, Charles. We all do it. At least you're safe and well, which is a good thing. So, the most important thing is, how much money did you raise? Have you got any ideas yet?
Yes, around about £3,000.
Wow.
To date, between the plastics rehab at Salisbury General Hospital and the Athenaeum Singers in Warminster. The Just Giving sites are still open, and if I can give a plug to my blog, can I?
Yes, go on.
It's called Charles Stile CS. just.wixsite.com/website. It's a bit of a handful, but on there are the details of the Just Giving, Charles-style Just Giving for the Athenaeum singers and the Salisbury District Hospital.
Well, we're glad you made it back, Charles. It's been great talking to you today. I'm not even going to ask you what's next, but I'm sure if there is one, you will let us know. Charles, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks
a lot now. Bye-bye.
Bye.